Hello everybody. Today I'm bringing you something that nobody wanted, needed, or asked for, and yet it's exactly what you want, need, and should ask for. This is a plant tour of my plants, and we're gonna tour them, okay? It's gonna be great. We're all gonna have a very fun time here today. I have some preliminary statements that need to be said, okay? First and foremost, I explicitly filmed this the day singular, that my house was clean, okay? I feel like sometimes I pull back the curtain a little too much on YouTube, you know, crying about my cervix, for instance. So if we're gonna bend the truth at all, we're gonna bend the truth about me being like an adult that can keep a house clean, okay? Secondly, I'm still learning, man, okay? There's some names that I'm probably gonna pronounce wrong. Definitely gonna pronounce wrong. There's some names I'm choosing to continually pronounce wrong. I recently learned that people call it pothos and not pothos. I'm in way too deep, okay? It's been like several years of me using the term pothos, so I'm gonna continue to just do it because it's sort of like, it's a victimless crime in my opinion, so we're all just gonna be okay with that. I'm taking a little course. I'm taking a horticultural course, and one of the things they said in that was, who gives a shit about pronunciation, basically? And I said, not fucking me. I did not plan how I was gonna film this, and that was a mistake. This plant's to my right. It's gonna be my left on the YouTube video, probably. Right? Alyssa wanted me to mention that this is her favorite plant. I also love this plant, aside from the fact that it's a bloody nightmare. This, every day with the same old shit, okay? I made my way over to Facebook because when I posted my last video talking about how I wanted to have like a plant Discord that was poppin', everyone was like, Facebook is the place. So I said, okay, I'm gonna then join Facebook. And I posted a photo of my office being like, look how cute my office is. And Patricia, okay, who looked to be about 70 years young, okay? She was like, love that Aralia, gorgeous. And I said, I love it too, Patricia, aside from the fact that all the time its leaves are yellowing and falling off. And Patricia said, Aralias are the drama. Those were her words. She said they don't like to be watered, they don't like to not be watered, they don't like to be looked at, they don't like to be touched. And I said, okay, so I'm embracing the drama. I think it's a beautiful, stunning plant, and it's so lush and gorgeous, and I just like that it has foliage that's very different from a lot of my other plants, but it does like dropping some kids off at the pool as often as it possibly can. This prayer plant, obviously doing fantastic. Look at this cool planter. I got it on Urban Outfitters. This thing is just growing out of control. It wants for nothing, and it's just great. I'm loving it. This plant I've yet to find a location for. I had it in the bathroom, and then I moved it out of the bathroom because I had to make room for other plants. And then I put it beside Matt's bed, but he usually keeps the blind right beside his bed closed, and I just felt like it wasn't thriving there and it just needed a little more sunlight in its life. And I also feel like sometimes it just felt like Matt had a bad attitude in the morning, and it didn't like that either. So I really wanted to take it out of that just negative situation overall. And it's just placed here gently because I don't know where I'm gonna put it. But anyways, Buddhist pine, it's perfect. I love this little plant so much. I got this one on Plantsum, which I think they're only in Canada. I'm like 99.6% sure they're only in Canada. But anyways, they have a large, like huge version of this, and I want it so bad. But there's certain plants, you know, that you look at and you're like, there's no way I can care for you, you know? Like ferns, for instance. It's never gonna happen. I do have one fern, but I know that I'm slowly killing it, and I just kind of accept that. And this just looked like a little too delicate and precious for me. I think it just kind of reminds me a little bit of like a palm, you know? It's kind of got that whole vibe going on, like a little baby palm, and I'm a known palm killer. So I wanted to have this one for several months before I committed to getting the larger one. And I've had this for several months, and it has been okay, aside from the fact that it's been displaced several times. But I don't know, I just don't know if I'm ready to bite the bullet, because I would feel personally responsible if this died. And there's instances where I'm okay with that, which I'll talk about later. And there's instances where I'm not okay with that, and I'm not okay with that for this little precious angel. Let's talk about this fucking thing, okay? I really do love it. That's the problem. Look at all this little new growth, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this guy is a Philodendron Sellum, okay? I saw a picture of this online, loved it so much, went searching high and low for it on the interwebs first, like just for pictures of it to confirm what type of plant it was. And then I couldn't find it at any of my local plant shops. And so then I ordered it online for an outrageous price, not this one, but another one. There's 3 now. It became like a whole thing, okay? And they sent it to me. It was this place from Montreal. They sent it to me in like 3 boxes, like taped together. It was the jankiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But it was a great time. And I was like, this is beautiful. And then I went to my local plant shop again, and suddenly they brought these fucking in. So I bought 2 more. This one that's in my bathroom, I started to notice there was just little driplets around it here and there. And I was like, that's odd. But maybe when I was watering it, I just had like a little bit of water on the leaf, and the water on the leaf just dropped off onto the floor. And then I realized that the leaf was like leaking, and I didn't know what happened. So I texted my mom. Okay, my mom is like a plant woman. Back in the day, she was a horticultural technician. And I was like, what the fuck happened here? And she said, she was like, I think that at some point, maybe it got cold damage, and then when it warmed back up, this is what happened. You know what I mean? I posted about it on my Facebook groups, and I got a variety of answers. Some people said that it's too cold, so the plant is like taking up too much water and before it can use it, you know what I mean? Anyways, long story short, don't exactly know, but it started happening to 2 out of 3 of these plants. So it did start happening to this one. There was one person that was like, it's bacterial, cut it off, it will ruin all your plants. And then I started panicking, but I did cut off the little affected areas. It seems to be doing fine, and it's not coming back anymore. But I'll show you guys the little video that I took of the like blister of water, because it was fucked. This is one of the first ever little baby plants that I got from PlantSome. I did an ad with them recently, and I talked about how when you like add, this isn't an ad by the way, in this video, but I am gonna be talking about them because they're perfect. But when you add a plant to your cart and you go to check out, it says, do you want to add a cute little baby plant? And every time I'm like, fucking obviously I want to do that. Anyways, this was the original cute little baby plant that I got from them, and it's actually grown quite a bit. It was like here when I first got it. One could say it's doubled in size. This guy's a little pilea. It's so cute. I love it. I love the cute little planter. This one is also a tiny little baby plant from PlantSome. This, I can't even describe to you how perfect this looked when I first bought it. It was magic, okay? It was the most beautiful little dragon scale ever. And then when I got it home, I hadn't watered it yet, but it immediately started turning yellow on all the little ends, which was a very sad time. And then there was another little leaf that just wasn't doing well, so I ended up chopping it off. But I'm hoping I'll be able to bring it back around, and the yellow leaves will just be like a part of our history, but not a part of our future. This is one of my little pothos. It is flourishing here, okay? Thriving. I think this guy might be a marble queen, but I could be wrong. I've been known to be wrong. I can't believe I even have to have this conversation. Plant jail. That's what it says, in case it isn't focusing. That's what this palm is in right now. But I'm sorry. As I said earlier, I haven't been good with palms ever in my life. I've killed every single one I've ever owned. Let me give you the origin story that nobody wanted, okay? I had it in my old house. If any of you recall, my old house was exceedingly dark, except for one room, okay? There was one room where it wasn't dark, but we ran out of space in that room, okay? It was like there was no more plants being put in there. I mean, certainly we could have, I just didn't. I got the same type of palm. This is a fishtail palm. And I had it in this one room in kind of a darkish corner, and it was doing great. It was having the time of its life. And then I ended up moving it to a different area, and it got sunburnt like to absolute shit. It was in the podcast room. And it was right underneath this kind of like sunlight thing, and it got burnt to absolute shit. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot that I put it there. I left it there for probably 1 to 2 or possibly 3 weeks, and it just basically baked in the sun and it died. But I was like, you know what? That plant otherwise did pretty well in this house. So I'm gonna get another one because I feel like my track record might be shifting. And I was gonna put this one here back in the original room where it was doing well, but that room then became the nursery before we moved out, and there wasn't any space for it. So I put it in my office, my old office, and it slowly withered away. And there were several times where I was like, I'm gonna fucking throw this thing out. But I think my mom was like, no, just cut back the dead leaves. It's okay, it's gonna be fine. And I was like, I don't think it is gonna be fine because it's really not getting what it needs here. But I did, I cut it back. It looked simply hideous. And then we ended up moving to this house. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hold on, I'm gonna bring it to the new house because I know it's brighter here and maybe it'll do well. I put it in a little corner by itself with just literally windows all the way around it. I cannot even begin to describe to you. Every single morning I would walk down the stairs and be like, heaven on earth, this beautiful, perfect fishtail palm living its best life, growing like crazy. It had 8 new leaves coming out of it, okay? 8 new leaves coming out of it. It's a palm in my hands, in my care, and it had 8 new leaves coming out of it. It was perfect. Everything was going great. And then one day I looked at the leaf and I was like, that seems like a little speckle. There's a few speckles on the leaf. No, scale. For those of you that don't know, scale is the scourge of the plant world, okay? They fucking latch onto your plant. They put this little like waxy shit coating on the outside so that you can't get it off easily and they won't like fall off easily, and then they just chill for the rest of their time and they just slowly kill your plant. And it's really hard to get rid of, and it can spread very quickly and it can kill a bunch of other plants. So thank God that this was in its own little corner. I'm treating it. It's in exile, clearly, and I've sprayed down the leaves with some solution. I'm gonna see what happens. I do feel like the bugs are coming off really, really easily. Like even when I first was looking at it being like, what is this? I like just barely touched it and like the bug just kind of like fell right off. So I'm really hoping that I can bring this back around and me and this plant can be together again in the future. This plant tour is gonna be outrageously long. I don't know that this is enjoying its time in my home. It just seems kind of fucked. And I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? I know that everyone talks about drainage being important. I am for drainage, okay? Typically speaking. I will say the planters that I have that have the best drainage, my plants do the worst in. Do with that what you will. Every single plant I've put into this planter specifically, which has like drainage holes and then it can kind of like drains into its little like bottom tray thing there, has died. Oh, Jesus. I feel like this entire video is just gonna be me talking about all the problems I'm having, but listen, when you have like a lot of plants, a lot of things can go wrong. This is not an alocasia. It kind of looks like one, but it's not. It's called a caladium, and I love it so much. It's having a hard go right now. Basically, it'll put out a new leaf, and then the old one will die. And then it'll put out a new leaf, and the old one will die. And it just always looks a little unhappy. I think what's going on here is that this guy needs maybe a little bit more humidity in its life. I can't provide that at this time, you know, because it also needs quite a bit of light. And the only bathroom that we really use shower-wise where like it would be getting more humidity without me just getting a humidifier is our master bathroom. And you'll see in a little bit, it's fairly dark in there. And I think that this guy needs a little bit more light than that. So I just don't know what to do. If you guys have any thoughts about how to salvage this guy, please tell me, because I really do love it so much and I want it to do well. And I just don't know where to put it or whatever. So if you guys see a place in the house that you think is good or whatever, tell me. This guy's doing great. It's a fucking palm. I have palms on palms on palms. I have two palms, but this one's also doing great. I got it not that long ago. Ladyfinger palm. That's what this little cutie is. This is my tiny baby's room. This is another little pothos that I just repotted. I love this so much. I feel like the more plants I've bought, the more I appreciate my old plants, oddly enough. And I just think this one is so beautiful. I'm curious to know what variety you guys think this is, because some of the varieties look quite similar, but I think it might be a glacier pothos. But you tell me. Oh yeah! What the hell? I love this plant. It's so beautiful, but I'm pretty sure it has spider mites and it's never enjoyed my care anyways, so I think I might just let it die in here. And I'm sorry. But I hate you, but I love you. But you're the worst. But you're the best. I don't know what to do with you. I'm so sorry. We're closing the door on this. Look at this beaming, beautiful corner. That's where the fishtail palm was. It was just loving life, okay? This guy also has a sordid tail, okay? Let me tell you a little bit about it. This used to be in our bedroom. Fruit flies get pretty bad here in the summer. So when we moved into this house, it was summer, and there was fruit flies in our room. And we were like, that's weird, but you know, whatever. There's fruit flies around, it's fine. And then it just got like colder and colder, and the fruit flies just never stopped, but there was always just like one fruit fly, no matter where you were in the bedroom, there was just one there. And then one day, I went to go water that plant, and there was a fruit fly that flew out of the soil. And I was like, interesting. And then I noticed some little like kind of webs, and I was like, maybe it has spider mites or something. The fruit fly is a weird situation, but I don't know what else it could be. My mom came over and I was like, can you look at this and tell me whether or not this is spider mites? And she was like, it's not, but I think we should take the pot out. It was still in its nursery pot. She was like, I think we should take the pot out and see what's going on. And I was like, okay, great. I don't even think this is a dramatization. Hundreds of worms crawling out of the bottom, disgusting. And then my mom put it in that other Exile shower. She started just rinsing the dirt basically. And then all these worms came wriggling out of the soil. It was, spoiler alert, not fruit flies, it was fungus gnats. We took this guy outside, we rinsed, got rid of all the dirt, rinsed off the roots really, really well, repotted it. It seems to be doing okay, but I'm just keeping it here away from everything else just so that it can, you know, have its little rehabilitation time and be reintroduced into the community. I mean, the thing is, it's a beautiful plant. It's doing great, other than the fact that it was literally teeming with worms. Look at this absolute gorgeous beauty. This is a type of philodendron too. I know the leaves are curling under. I recently learned about how it sometimes does this to retain water. So I gave it a big drink and hopefully they'll unfurl. And then this one is newer. This is a silver sword philodendron. And it's got this really cool kind of like bluey green leaf. Cutie. This is the fern, the aforementioned fern. It's also not appreciating its time here. I mean, it would seem that I'm saying that a lot of plants are appreciating their time here, but I will get into some plants that are loving life, okay? This thing, for instance. Loving life. The leaves when I first got it were like this size, not this size. And so I put it in this tiny little pot. But now it's just outgrown it in a really big way. So I do need to repot this one. I'm just being lazy basically because I agreed that I wouldn't buy any more plants before Christmas. So I don't even want to go to the nursery, you know? Yeah, bitch. If you know, you know. It's newer and I just wanted to like keep it away from other plants while it just gets used to being in my home. This is an Anthurium brownii. It is kind of like an unassuming plant, I feel, but when it gets bigger, it is the most beautiful. It's like very ruffly and just like so pretty. And then this guy is an Epipremnum pinnatum. Apparently, I don't know very much about this plant, but apparently this is what the mature leaves look like. And then when the new leaves come out, they don't have any of this fenestration, but anyways, it's just really cool. Look at this fucking behemoth, okay? This plant was in the darkest corner in our bedroom. I just kind of stuck it there, hoping for the best. And it just has done so well. Please note, there's absolutely no drainage in this pot in any capacity. Look at this beautiful angel. So this is just a cast iron plant, but it has this really cool speckling on all of the leaves. So the common name for this guy is cast iron Milky Way. Over here I have this little bonsai. It's a little ficus tree. It needs to be kind of like cut back over here. But it is actually doing okay. They kind of get a little sensitive when they're moved and they'll drop a lot of leaves, so that happened. And it took a while in the old house for us to find a spot that it really liked. So it just constantly looked like a shitty twig because it was dropping all its leaves from being moved. I'm propagating part of my Tradescantia for my mom because it's growing out of absolute control. I inherited this pitiful plant. So this guy took a very long time for me to find out exactly what it is, but it's called a Stephania erecta. It's clearly just thriving. It's doing great. But Matt's friend got this from a girlfriend of his at the time, and then he broke up with said girlfriend, got a new girlfriend. The girlfriend was like, I don't want you to have a plant from your ex in your house. He asked if I would adopt it. I said yes. Do you want something from my ex? He said sure. He brought me the plant. I gave him one of my ex's cutting boards. I'm almost debating, because it's supposed to be really nice and like bushy, and these leaves are supposed to be like massive. And it said that when it grows like this, it's more so because like it didn't have enough light. So I'm kind of thinking about, ugh, gosh, I just don't know what to do, but I'm kind of thinking about cutting this one back and just seeing if it does better being in like a brighter spot, because this is, I don't know what the fuck. This is a Philodendron Brazil. It's so beautiful. It has the coolest little leaves and variegation, and I love it. This leaf looks kind of shitty. Why? I don't know. I'll talk to it later. This guy is kind of cool. This is called False Aurelia. I don't know the scientific name. Not that I've been saying scientific names basically at all. But it's beautiful, and it's much less finicky than a real Aurelia. This is the Tradescantia in question that I took cuttings from because it was literally trailing all onto the floor. So I cut it back a little bit, but it's just growing out of absolute control. Look at this absolute fucking marvel, okay? This plant has just done so well, and it's gotten so big over the past few years that I've had it. I think I got this plant about 6 or 7 years ago, but it has tons of new growth coming out the top, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful plant. This is a Dracaena. So this is just a classic old Monstera deliciosa, but this plant was actually Alyssa's, and our managers gave it to her from Plantsome, and Alyssa was out of town. And so I was like, do you want me to unbox this plant for you? Because the plant arrived. She was like, oh, sure. And I was like, I'll take care of it while you're gone. So I did. She tried to have it downstairs for a little bit. No shade. Alyssa is a serial plant killer. That wasn't why she gave it away, I don't think, at the time. I think it was because her cat Grunt did start trying to eat it, and she was like, I just, you know, better safe than sorry. So she was like, will you again adopt this plant? Yes, I will. No problem. And this was the plant that introduced me to Plantsome in the first place, which was fantastic because now I just order plants constantly from them, and I will never financially recover from it. So yeah. Oh, this perfect, fucking beautiful, majestic, god damn it, I'm really upset still. So that beautiful trailing plant up there is a Monstera Peru. I had one in the old house in that same planter. It was like the deepest green ever. Like, it was just such a beautiful shade of green. And I loved this plant. It grew out of control. I cut it back all the time. It just kept growing. It was like having the time of its life. When we moved, I was so scared about all of my plants because this is a nightmare. They're a nightmare to move. I don't want people to be tossing them around. They're gentle beings, okay? They need like a loving touch, right? And so I insisted that we move all of my plants ourselves and not have them be moved by movers, basically. And it was a heat wave the week that we were moving, and I had that plant in the front seat of my car. I should be in jail, basically, is what I'm getting at, because I had that plant in the front seat of my car. We were loading up the rest of the car in this other truck with plants, and it withered away in the sun. When we got to the new house with the plant, I tried to kind of like nurse it back to health and like give it like a big drink and put it in like the sunshine. No, it was done for. It was a very sad time. And then it took me a long time before I could find another one of those. One of the nurseries that I go to most said that they've been like fairly popular. So like as soon as they come in, they get bought kind of thing. But I did end up getting a new one. It's fine. It's not the same. Nothing will ever match up to that perfect plant that I murdered in cold blood. The old one was just such a beautiful green. This one is like more of a whatever kind of green. Okay, it's fine. It's not fine. Philodendron Salome. This is the one that got sent to me in the 3 boxes. This is the one that started dripping crazy leaf juice. And I just have it like here kind of sitting because I don't know what the fuck to do with it. And that one I'm kind of worried is gonna start doing it too. I just don't know. Here's a peace lily that's doing great. This fucking thing. I believe this is an Alocasia zebrina. I love that the stems are like this. It's such a cool looking plant. It doesn't know how to feel, and neither do I, frankly. It looks good most of the time, and then one leaf, I'm assuming it's gonna be this fucking leaf next, just starts to wilt and then turn yellow and die. And then the rest of the plant looks fine, but it just keeps doing that, and then a new leaf will pop up. Over and over. Same old shit. Before you even fucking say a word, yes, I do roll my towels like that. That's legit, okay? Is it normally clean like this? No, it's not. Is there a bunch of shit in here because Matt just dumped all this laundry on the floor and I said I'm filming in here and I tried to make it look clean and he said just put it into the fucking toilet room and I said okay, that's normal. This is not. That is. This thing is the fucking coolest. And I've not seen very many people talk about this plant, and by not very many, I mean I've never seen it be talked about. This is called a Philodendron Goldii. It is such a cool leaf. I just love it. It's so, so neat. This is like one of my favorite plants that I've got. And it has a new little stem coming out. So I don't really know exactly where to put it, but it's here for now. It's fucking... God damn it. So it's supposed to be perfectly set up so people think that I know what I'm doing. This is a ficus? Yeah. Know it well. It's actually loving it in here too. I thought that this wouldn't be enough light. So basically this is like a frosted window. Why did they do that? I don't know, because it's just like beautiful forest over there. So I would like to look at that personally, but it's really fucking expensive to replace that window. So we're not going to, but it doesn't seem like it would be that dark in here, but it kind of is. It's really not that bright, just like me. But I don't know, this guy seems to be doing okay in here. This is my little Cebu Blue Pothos, also an Epipremnum pinnatum. I don't know if this is where I'm gonna leave him or not. I just haven't decided. But I do like having a trailing plant in here because then when I take a bath, look at my little view. It's perfect. Look at this. This guy is a newer guy as well. This is an Anthurium. Hold on. The lady I bought this from, she has a beautiful plant store with a lot of really beautiful plants in it. I have to just say, she keeps some of her own plants in the plant store and they're on like the top shelf and they're all like stunning. Like they're these huge, beautiful plants, but they're not for sale, obviously. They're hers. It is the worst case of horticultural blue balls ever. Why do that to your customers? She had one of these that was huge and the leaves were like the darkest green. They were so beautiful, just like my Monstera Peru back in the day. And then the veining in the leaf was like this really bright, beautiful green. And she was like, honestly, like I keep that one in a super dark area and the leaves get super dark and it grows slower, but like, I don't care because it looks like awesome. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking do that then. So I'm keeping it in my bathroom where it's nice and humid and I think it'll like that. And I have it kind of like tucked into this little corner of the bathroom where it gets light, like indirect kind of light that's like filtered obviously through that frosted glass, but it's not the brightest it could be. And I am gonna try and keep it there. This plant doesn't look great right now, I'm not gonna lie. And it did cost me a fucking arm and a leg, okay? But we're gonna see what we can do together. I think it could be great. I mean, it has great bones. You're gonna be great. Don't worry. I feel like this was the worst plant tour ever. I really love when people do their plant tours and they know the Latin names of all their plants. And I don't even know some of the common names of my plants. I just buy them when I get a feeling in my heart that that plant belongs to me and that I think I will love and cherish it and look at it longingly day after day. But I'm learning. And then maybe one day I'll do the most Latin scientific plant tour anyone's ever seen. That's the plant tour. Okay, thanks, bye.